Start selling online.
Whoops. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. You know the drill. We're basically just going to go over tomorrow's UFC fight. We'll go through the entire card. Give our picks, predictions. You guys can chime in. I love to hear from you, and I like the participation. You got questions, comments, parlays, put them in the chat. Would love to see them. It's hot. This house. It is hot as hell in Chicago. It's like, it's been in the 90s the past couple days. That's a little cockeyed. Got a nice IPA. Enjoying it, chilling, getting ready to review some fights. I gotta update everyone on the NFT giveaway. I'll start putting that in the chat because I know some people just tune in to see where we're at in that. But basically, once we get to 100 subscribers on the channel, I will give out a UFC strike moment, and then if you're subscribed at every kind of milestone, you'll qualify for more NFT giveaways. I think I'm up to like 32 of them or something like that. They're not, I'm not gonna lie, it's not all top shelf stuff. Really haven't had a whole lot of luck in the polls, but any duplicates, I'm just gonna give them away to the channel. It's a nice way to give back and say thanks to the people who support me. So today, first of all, we got to go over UFC 274 last weekend. It's in my other notebook. We didn't do horrible, but I'm not gonna lie, it sucked when Rose lost that matchup. Like, Rose losing last week and the week prior, Andre Fili losing, like, those were parlay busters for me. So yeah, unfortunately, I was super confident in Rose heading into the fight against Esparza. I know Esparza wrestled her very well in their first matchup, but you know, I just don't think anyone could have predicted like the inactivity out of both fighters, and just like the coaching advice coming out of the corners. I mean, didn't love it. Didn't love my prediction, and Charles Oliveira won. He got hurt and still managed to get through it. You know, what I said is like, he's gonna get hurt in the first round, and if you do that against Justin, like, you're screwed. Now he's done that against Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje, and he's come out okay. So I get it. Time to start respecting him. I think I only picked him versus Chandler, and the rest of the fights, like, I had Dustin, I had Gaethje, so he's definitely showing me up a little bit, making me look bad. We'll see who his next matchup is. You know, he's going to be tough to bet against, especially if, like, especially if it's Conor. You know, I'm going to tell you on here, like, I'm rolling with Conor because I'm a big Conor fan, but, like, yeah, that's obviously a kind of a clown bet. So yeah, a lot of fights on that card, went kind of late, but overall pretty decent card, with the exception of the Rose versus Esparza matchup. It was just wasn't enough going on for my liking, you know. So without further ado, we can dive into UFC Fight Night, Blachowicz versus Rakic. First, we got the prelims. We've got Nick Maximov taking on Andre Petroski. Nick Maximov, we've heard of him. He's the Diaz protege. jiu-jitsu practitioner, Andre Petrosky. I think he's off the Contender Series or something, but he's 2-0 in the UFC, wrestler. Also has good jiu-jitsu, but definitely more of a top control type fighter. Maximov in this fight, he's 2-0 heading into the fight as well. We're going to have to, I mean, I don't know. I almost want to give Nick Maximov a little bit of an advantage on the feet, but I don't know about that. He's just, I think he's, like how I would describe it is he's going to have a gas tank advantage, right? But I think Petrovsky, if he's not able to get some sort of finish on Nick Maximov, he's going to be in a world of trouble in rounds 2 and 3 against this dude. Maybe even late in the first. But, yeah, Nick Maximov, good jiu-jitsu, good gas tank, similar skill set heading into this, so it's kind of like, who do you like better, you know? Andre Petrosky, another note I'd like to throw out there, none of his fights have ever gone to the distance. So he has 4 KOs, 3 submissions. Oh, I have his record at 7-1. Maybe he does have a decision on here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have him at any fights going the distance. So, Maximov is a heavy favorite. A little bit steep at -365. We'll check and see if it's still there. And it is. Yeah, I mean, that's a steep price. I like Nick Maximov in this. I like the fact that he has a gas tank that's proven and he's got great cardio. I mean, as far as the fight methods, like, I really can't see Andre Petrosky winning this via decision. I think it has to be some sort of finish if he does it, to be honest. Like, I guess they're thinking, like, maybe he just has top control and is controlling the fight like that. It could be it could be a super frustrating fight to watch if that plays out. We're looking at the fight props. The odds makers do like this one to go the distance. I mean, it's tough to, like, say what type of finish you would think it would be, but I mean, I would say with 2 jiu-jitsu artists, like, maybe there's some value on the submission there. I'm not sure. Plus 275. They like the decision. I don't know. I just feel like Andre Petrosky, he hasn't shown an ability to, he hasn't had the opportunity. I mean, he's had opportunities, but he hasn't shown us a good gas tank yet. And Nick Maximov's coming into this with a good gas tank. So I just think they're both dangerous, but Maximov particularly with his jiu-jitsu and the styles of both of these guys, like, maybe there's some value on that Maximov submission. Plus 350. I don't know. Love Maximov in this. I kind of like it inside the distance. The odds makers don't. I guess I'm trying to say I like it inside the distance. We'll see what happens. I'll have to. I don't know. That price tag's a little bit scary. I think the last 2 weeks I'm like 0 for 2 in the very first fight of the card, my prediction. So hopefully we can buck the trend. I do kind of want to put Maximov in some parlays, just to help out with that price tag, and then the fact that Andre has never gone the distance, it just kind of makes me want to say it's going to be some sort of finish in the fight. So for a fight prop, like, it doesn't go the distance, plus 100. As far as the fight lines, over under 2.5, I would say I like the under if I don't like it to go the distance. All right, the next fight is Tatsuro Taira taking on Carlos Candelario. I believe this fight was rescheduled once, so now we're finally getting it. Tatsuro is a slight, well, he's a heavy favorite, minus 275 for someone who's making their debut against Carlos Candelario, also making his UFC debut. If we look at the styles of both of these fighters, Tatsuro, quick, solid jiu-jitsu, good kicker, fast hands, just seems like a kind of well-rounded martial artist. Carlos Candelario on the other side, he's coming off the Contender Series. He did suffer a decision loss via split decision on the Contender Series. Just after the shaky performance, I do like Tatsuro Taira in this fight. I think he's just going to be a little bit sharper on the feet, more technically sound, and then if the fight does find the mat, Carlos will probably be okay on the mat, but Tatsuro and his jiu-jitsu is going to be a little bit dangerous. I'm probably at that minus 275 price tag. I'm probably keeping him out of the parlays. If we're thinking about what type of results I like in this fight, let's check what the odd makers think. They don't like the fight to go the distance. I'm sure they like the Tatsuro submission. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see what happens. I'm hesitant to say Tatsuro's for sure gonna get the finish in this fight. We've just never seen Carlos Candelario finished, but if he is gonna do it, I think where the discrepancy is gonna really show is in the ground game. But I do think Tatsuro could potentially win this on the feet via decision, just point striking. He's gonna be if we look at the reach, yeah, he's got a bit of a reach advantage. Like I said, he's gonna be faster, so he could realistically in this fight just strike from the outside, and then your risk is, if he does clip Carlos with something. So I don't know. Like Tatsuro in this, the more I talk about it, the more I'm kind of, what does it look like if you do a little Tatsuro, and he's already down to minus 290 already. Holy shit. A little Tatsuro. Yeah, I mean, minus 41, minus 141, that's far better than where they were at. So I don't know. I for sure do not mind that, and I might do that tomorrow. A little bit risky, I might do it though. The next fight we've got Virna Jandiroba taking on Angela Hill. Virna Jandiroba, terrific jiu-jitsu artist. She's coming off a loss. I believe she lost, I can't remember. I believe it was Amanda Ribas, who she lost to. And Amanda's fighting again on this card. Amanda just, I think with her own jiu-jitsu ability, kind of kept the fight standing and had a little bit of a sharper stand-up approach. Angela Hill, she's coming into this terrific Muay Thai, terrific boxing. She did lose a split decision loss to Amanda Lemos her last fight, but she arguably won that. This is one I'm kind of wishy-washy on. I'm going with Virna on the money line, just with the assumption she is going to eventually be able to score some sort of takedown. And it's just going to take one, and then she's going to be able to get a submission from that position. If she's not able to get a takedown, I think Angela Hill probably wins the decision fairly easily. She's going to definitely be able to outclass Virna on the feet. She's got the higher output. I mean, we have seen her get taken down, but it's been against some pretty stout competition, whether that was Tisha Torres, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to predict. I'm gonna bank on Virna getting the takedown and ultimately getting a submission in this. But if she's not able to do that, like Angela Hill's just, she's gonna be the better fighter in the stand-up game. Gonna have the better output. She's gonna have an ability to score more points. So Virna just needs to make it a little bit ugly. We didn't check Draftkings, so we'll do that right now. Virna Jandiroba minus 200. The odds makers do like the fight to go the distance. Yeah, I mean, if you like Virna, you better be going with the submission. I don't think you can bank on her winning a decision. If it does reach a decision, I mean, I guess it's possible that the splitter majority decisions in play. I always like kind of doing that sometimes when it's in play. But I think the decision would favor Angela Hill. And so I think there's value on the Angela Hill decision plus 215 and the Virna Jandiroba submission at plus 225. As far as fight parlays, let's see how many takedowns does Virna go for typically in a match? 2.14. Yeah, I mean, she might have to keep shooting for that. She's gonna be, I thought she was gonna be the bigger fighter, but they're the same size. Yeah, I don't know. Angela Hill for sure is scaring me in this one. But I'm banking on the Virna Jandiroba. She gets a takedown, and she's able to finish the fight with a submission. The next fight, we've got Michael Johnson taking on Alan Patrick. Michael Johnson cannot buy a win lately. He's a wrestler, background, good boxer. You know, he just needs to stay safe. Ooh. Sorry, I knocked over my lamp. He needs to stay safe in this fight. We've seen it too many times where he's putting on a great performance and then he just gets tired and gets clipped, or you know, he's definitely had a rough go of it as of late though. Alan Patrick on the other side, he's coming into this contest. He is 15-3 in the UFC, slight underdog at plus 125. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Yeah, I mean, as far as Alan Patrick's strengths, he's probably more of the wrestler type. But I just think given Michael Johnson's wrestling background and the fact that he's going to be I think Michael Johnson, I think he shakes the trend here. He ends the losing streak and he gets a win. I think it's probably a decision is what I'm thinking. I don't think he's going to knock out Alan Patrick. And he's got to stay, you know, safe in this one. As far as the fight props, the odds makers do like this one to go the distance. They probably like the Michael Johnson decision, which they do. Secondarily, they like the KO. A lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I think if you like the underdog, the ways Michael Johnson loses is he gets clipped with something, or yeah, he gets wrestled. He gets snorlaxed. He gets slept on. But I really don't think that's going to happen, just given his experience. But yeah, he's a great early fighter, but he's just got to stay a little more safe and technically sound when he starts to get tired. I think in his last fight that was the difference. So, definitely like Michael Johnson. I like the decision. Minus 145. The decision KO is only minus 135. So it's a slight improvement, but nothing to chase after there. It is a fight like I'm saying, like, yeah, and I'll probably throw him in a round robin. Might put a little bit on him, but probably not. Probably looking for a better opportunity later in the card to bet money. Put a little bit on him though, but he's 0-4 heading in on a 4-fight losing streak, so it's a little bit scary. Next fighter, we've got Vivian Araujo. That's how it's pronounced. Do it right the first time always. And she's facing Andrea Lee. Andrea Lee, she's a wrestler, good output. Vivian, she's definitely going to have a stand-up advantage, especially early in the fight. Explosive movements. We'll say Andrea Lee is maybe a little more technical, and has the better gas tank in this fight. But as far as Vivian, she's going to be extremely dangerous early, and if she's able to take rounds 1 and 2, she could definitely win the fight. I think Andrea Lee, her best opportunity at winning, is going to be to take rounds 3 and 4. Rounds 2 and 3. This is only a 3-round fight. So, part of me likes Vivian, because I don't think Andrea Lee's going to be able to score those takedowns early in the fight. I just don't. I think as the fight plays out and Vivian starts to slow down, I don't think she's necessarily going to have the ability, or it's going to be a smart idea for her to take down Andrea Lee. So with her gas tank issues, I'm just going with Andrea Lee here. I think the odds makers are probably going to like a decision in this. They do. Minus 280. I like the Lee decision at plus 140. Yeah, we're just going to have to see something totally different from Vivian. I think in order for her to win this fight, and that would be when she does start to get tired, she needs to end up in top control, like in a takedown. But I think she's going to be hesitant to do something like that against Lee. And Vivian is going to be the better stand-up fighter early in this fight. So, ultimately, we're banking on the late fight ability of Andrea. Pull ahead in the second and third rounds here. Oh. Next fight, we've got Jake Hadley taking on Alan Nascimento. Jake Hadley, he's heading into this as the underdog at minus 210, making his UFC debut. He is 8-0 professionally. Really good jiu-jitsu, really good grappling. Looked kind of shaky in the stand-up. Also has good cardio. Alan Nascimento, obviously great jiu-jitsu artist with 13 submission wins on his record. You gotta like his experience and his ability in the jiu-jitsu game, but I'm rolling with Jake Hadley in this one. I think he's gonna, he's got an understanding of jiu-jitsu in his own right. Good grappler. I think he's ultimately able to stay safe, score takedowns. Maybe Allen looks really good on the feet early in this fight, but I think ultimately, like Jake Hadley and his cardio, it's gonna shine right in the third rounds. If we're looking at what the odds makers like, I would suspect a decision. and it's a pick 'em pretty much. They think it's going to go the distance, but just barely. Yeah, so I guess I'm saying like Jake Hadley, just to have terrific top control. I think the submission would be in play, honestly. So you could do like submission decision minus 175 instead of what, minus 210. I think another fight parlay would be like Jake Hadley and over a round and a half. I think that's decent. Jake Hadley third round or decision. Where was that one? Minus 120. Like that. Like some of those. All right. Frank Camacho taking on Manuel Torres. Excuse me. Belching into the mic. Frank Camacho, I think it's been a couple years since he last fought in the UFC. Yeah, June 20th, 2020. So, it's been a little while. It's been a while. He's taking on Manuel Torres. So Frank Camacho, brawler, good jiu-jitsu, is kind of prone to getting hit. You can see just in stat difference there. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's 1-4 in his last 5 in the UFC. He's just prone to getting knocked out, and he's facing a guy who's definitely looking for the knockout and looking for it early. He's got 5 wins via KO, 6 via submission, and all 11 of those finishes have come in the first round. So this is a recipe for disaster, I think, for Frank Camacho. I'm going with Manuel Torres in this fight. How Frank Camacho wins this is probably like grappling with Manuel, right? And making the fight like super dirty, and just grinding out a win. But I like Manuel Torres in this. I like a knockout, potentially early, from Manuel Torres, just because like that's stylistically the type of fighter he is. We gotta give him the stand-up advantage. He's dangerous from a submission perspective, so the odds makers don't like this one going the distance. Frank Camacho does have power in his hands as well. I think this is going to be kind of electric on the feet, so I think the KO at minus 125 is appealing, but Manuel Torres KO plus 200, fight parlays, Manuel Torres KO round 1 plus 425, Manuel Torres and under a round and a half plus 225, something like that. And if you're on Camacho's side too, you can kind of hope for a finish as well. As far as Manuel Torres's 2 losses, they were both submission losses. But yeah, I like Manuel Torres in this. I like him in the stand-up. I like his finishing ability. I think that's going to deter Frank Camacho from making this a pure grappling match. So I think this is just a nice fight for Manuel. They're teeing it up for him. Caitlin Chukagian taking on Amanda Ribas. Caitlin, number 1 contender. She's coming off of a 3-fight win streak. Her last losses in the UFC, when we're talking about losses, her last losses are like, well, let's do them in order. Jessica Andrade, Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Ai. So, I mean, I don't think she's losing. I think she's a really good fighter. She's a point striker. She's got good takedown defense, which is important against a fighter like Ribas, who does have a good submission game and does have the ability to submit her opponents. 4 submissions wins under Amanda Ribas' record. So I like Caitlin Chookagian via decision in this fight. I'm sure the odds makers like this one to go the distance as well. We're looking at the fight props. They do minus 225. Like Caitlin Chookagian on the money line at minus 160. And then I like that. I mean, I like, as far as a prediction, I like the Chookagian decision. I just like her to outpoint her. I don't know if there's any way to. I don't think Amanda's going to get any takedowns again, to be honest. Maybe she does, but Caitlin's got the reach advantage in this. She's the taller fighter. I think it's a tough matchup for Amanda Ribas. If she's able to pull it off, kudos, but I was just trying to see if we could find maybe some better odds for the Chookagian decision, but I'm not seeing it anywhere, so not really swaying away from taking Caitlin on the money line at minus 160. I don't think that's too bad. Davy Grant taking on Luis Smolka. Love Davy Grant. His last 2 losses were to Marlon Vera and Adrian Yanez. Those were his last 2 fights. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Luis Smolka, he's on a 1-fight losing streak. Super inconsistent thus far in the UFC. I think he's like 8-8 in the promotion. He got KO'd by Vince Morales. I don't know. I think this fight's going to be primarily fought on the feet. I think we got to give Luis Smolka a little bit of an advantage if this fight turns into a grappling match. We'll give it to Luis Smolka, but I kind of love Davy Grant in this matchup. I like his pressure. It's dangerous in the stand-up department. As pressure and pace on his side. Luis Smolka, he's obviously has fairly good output himself, but yeah, I like Davy Grant on the feet, and therefore I kind of like Davy Grant a lot in this fight, and the odds makers do too at minus 280. I think Davy Grant's gonna knock him out. I'm sure that's what they think at minus 280 for it to not go the distance. Yeah, the KO minus 105. And they like it early, round 1 too. Wow. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could, because I think some of Davy Grant's strength is like his ability to get hurt and punch back, take a shot to give a shot and land a shot. So I think some of his ability is like in that gas tank and in his durability. So I can't advise taking a round 1 bet on Davy Grant, but I do really like him in this matchup, and I would like to circle that as a potential parlay piece. It was Andre Fili 2 weeks ago, and it was Rose Namajunas last week that I had. Those were just 2 failed parlay pieces, so I just want to be careful, not too liberal. I don't think that was too liberal with those 2 fighters, but Fili got KO'd right away round 1. That's a little bit of luck, I think. I think it's okay to admit that and say that. The next fight, we've got Ryan Spann taking on Ion Kudabala in the co-main event. Ian is minus 210, the favorite. Let's go to the UFC page. Ryan Spann, 21-7 in the promotion, or in the UFC. Sorry, not in the UFC or the promotion. Professionally, he's 21-7. Ian Kutabala, 16-6-1, won no contest. Kutabala brings like a lot of aggression. He is capable of mixing up the fight. I think Ryan Spann, we've seen in the UFC. He's decently well-rounded. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But if this fight is going to be fought on the feet, I mean, it might be fireworks right in round one. I think both of these guys feel like they can knock out the other person. I think we've seen Ryan Spann get, hurt a little more recently than Ian. And I think the pressure of Ian's going to be a little bit problematic for Ryan Spann. So I'm going to go with Kutabala here. I might even say the Kutabala KO, which the odds makers like. I'm sure they don't like this one to go the distance. No, at minus 450. Man, it's always intriguing, like, to go with it is going to go the distance when you see odds like that. I wanted to check for just winning methods, what the generic KO was for either fighter, minus 225. Fight parlays, round 1 KO plus 125. I mean, I think it's gonna be fireworks early. I think you could do like Ryan Spann and under if you like Spann. I think you could do Ian and under if you like Ian. I wouldn't do under a half round, but I think they're gonna be aggressive with each other. I think they're gonna be really, really aggressive, and someone's gonna get knocked out in this. And I'm gonna say Ryan Spann gets knocked out and Ian wins. So that's our money line prediction and overall fight prediction. But yeah, maybe the knockout for either fighter at minus 225. That's seems more of a guarantee than both Ian and a knockout. But Jan Blachowicz taking on Alexander Rakic. Jan, Polish power. He's on a 1-fight loss streak. He lost the belt to Glover Teixeira. Prior to that, he was on a 5-fight win streak. Let's call it 4 because he fought Izzy once in there, and that, just tough to say where Jan is right after the last 2 fights we've seen from him. He beat Izzy. He kind of employed like what we saw DC do against like Anderson Silva when Silva was a fill-in, when John Jones had the pictogram in his blood of a little cocaine, and Anderson Silva filled in. We saw DC just kind of wrestle at him, Snorlax him, whatever verbiage you like to use, that's what happened. Those are a couple of my favorites. Jan Blachowicz, that's what he did to Izzy. Didn't mess with him on the feet. And then against Glover, he just looked like he got hurt early, and he didn't look himself. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know where we're at with Jan. I love Jan. He's definitely capable of grappling Rakic. He's definitely capable of knocking him out. Rakic, on the other hand, he's going to be kicker, Muay Thai. He's going to have a speed advantage. The question is he going to be able to control the distance and have this 2-to-1 output that he typically does? Is he going to be able to take the counter shots of Jan Blachowicz? What's Jan going to do to respond to heavy leg kicks, heavy body kicks? Is he just going to stand there and watch Rakic do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we're gonna go. I didn't. I didn't actually make. I mean, the recipe, the stage is set for like Rakic to have just a point striking decision winning 5 round fight, right? Against Jan. Yeah. Oh, they like the Rakic KO. They don't like this fight to go the distance, the odds make. Just slightly. I mean, Jan has just got. He's got some hammers, you know? I think there's a little bit of value on the Jan plus 450 KO. I kind of like that. Like, I mean, shoot, if I got like 200 at the end of the night, that'd be a fun bet to place, you know? Rakic, on the other hand, I think you gotta go with the decision if you like Rakic. I don't think he's necessarily gonna put away Jan. But with the odds makers favoring the knockout by both artists, maybe there's value in just taking the knockout at plus 105. We're going with Jan Blachowicz plus 170. The only underdog I think we picked today. Angela Hill, I'm tempted to, but we're going with Virna. He's getting some sort of takedown once and getting a submission from there. We're gonna go with the underdog, Jan Blachowicz, with the knockout at plus 450. And you know, depending on where I'm at that point in the night, it might be fun to place a decent amount of money on this bet. 100, yeah, like if I got 200 and I just put half of it down, you know, just bet whatever I get on the house on that plus 450. That'd be pretty fun, I think. So tonight, I put a little wager on the Bucks. Not sure where they're at. I know they were -1 favorites prior to the game. Yikes, losing. Boston's looking to tie it up. Honestly, right now though,
put some spring in your sip with cold brew topped with cold foam at Dunkin'. A little salty with salted caramel cold foam, or a little sweet with.
put some. We have an espresso machine at the house here. It's freaking awesome. So it's better than Dunkin'. I'm telling you. Just looking at the stats here. Yeah, I don't know. So the Bucks aren't really hitting their threes, which Bobby Portis, he just hasn't had a good shooting series at all. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Boston wins this one. I wouldn't. I mean, I would assume the Bucks are gonna close the gap. You know, this isn't gonna be a 20-point matchup. Let's see what the plus 8.5 only. I'm not sure what to think on that. Probably gonna plus 8.5. That's like if it was 10 or 10 to 15, I would say like yeah, you could hammer Milwaukee, but 8.5's a little close to say. I guess I like the Golden State Warriors tonight. It was just crazy to see them get blown out in the fashion they did, but they're at home, right? And they're only -8 against You know, I think the last game they might have been like -10. I'm gonna put a little bit on the Golden State Warriors -8 just to hedge my Bucks bet, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I tried. As far as Twitter, let's see what's trending on Twitter today. SmackDown, of course. The Last Drive-In. Some sort of movie, maybe? Not really sure. Fluffy Funko. What's that? Oh, it's Gabriel Iglesias. I have a Conor McGregor one of those. I think it's all gold, too. I don't know if it's the same thing. It kind of looks the same. Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. You keep the good vibes away. You just don't think about them, right? This is the first time I thought of it all day. So, you know, and 3/4 of the day is gone. Maybe even more, right? What is anything bad gonna happen? Probably not. And what? Derek White, was he even a game for the Boston Celtics? Was that why people are looking him up? Turn down the volume just to make it. It's so annoying, right? So inconsiderate by ESPN to just like play shit super loud. I think the numbers looked a little weird the last time I looked at the score, but that's not too bad. 69-56, 8.5 points actually, now that I think about it. Whatever it's at now, like that's actually not too bad. For some reason I thought Boston was up like over 20. But I think I was just having a brain fart. Derek White, 3 for 4 only. Not sure why he's trending. Hockey players are trending. What's ERCOT? So, like, I think ERCOT asked Texans to set their thermostats to 78 degrees or higher and avoid using large appliances between 3 and 8 p.m. during the weekend. I mean, I think every state has, you know, like hot days where it's like you're not supposed to overuse water, overuse electricity just because, you know, you're going to blow the grid or whatever. I know Texas in particular with the extensive, you know, it's a big state, right? It's not as big as Alaska, but it's the second. Actually, California might be bigger, but it's for sure a top 3 state as far as square, you know, mileage, right? And, you know, they had problems last winter because they were using like, you know, and we do need to develop solar energy we need to develop like renewable energy sources, but like if those things fail, yeah, you're gonna have like ERCOT, whatever that is. But yeah, it was like crazy for last winter. It was absolutely absurd. People were freezing in their homes in the Gulf region just because there were like electricity failures, supply chain failures. Absolutely crazy. The Renovator. Nice. I don't know what that is, but I love that. Let's check out. I know they were moving earlier today. I don't know if they continued to move, but I'm curious what our favorite meme stocks are doing. Five and a 1.5% up another 1.1 in after hours. Not bad. Nice. Up 9.85% on the day. Nice. So I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. We've had a good time, but it's time to sign off. And my girlfriend, she's messaging me, please bring me Advil. So I gotta sign off, everyone. I will see everyone later. Hope you have a great weekend. Find me on Twitter. I'll put that in the comment section, or it's in the description or something. Follow me on Twitter. I'll put my picks there. I'll put a couple parlays out. And let's make